Before this video begins, I just want to mention that this is part 2 of my video on the Tamagotchi Iceberg. Please watch that video first if you haven't already. Also, the intro is quite long, but I feel like it has interesting information. If you get bored while watching the intro though, skip to this timestamp. So, originally I wasn't going to upload a video today, since I have to work on stockpiling videos, but something happened that caught me off guard. On Monday of this week, I was finishing setting up the upload for the whiteboard challenge, and I ended up looking at the main YouTube studio page. I noticed there was a comment that was made recently that I hadn't responded to on my Tamagotchi Iceberg video. When I noticed who the comment was made by, I was shocked. The creator of the Tamagotchi Iceberg, Omega138, had commented on my video, saying what the meanings behind the things I got wrong on the iceberg actually were. They also mentioned that they had made an updated version of the iceberg with new info on it. Since this had happened, I started to consider to start making part 2 immediately, but I thought about asking them if they could join my Tamagotchi Discord server, since I mentioned it in the video, and that way it would be easier to ask for info for this video. Funnily enough though, before I was about to ask them if they could join the Discord, I had noticed that they had just joined it. I recommend that you join it too, if you like the Tamagotchi anime and manga. The link is in the description, just like it had been in the first part of this video. Anyways, a huge thank you to Omega138 for helping me write this video by giving explanations on things I got wrong and explanations on the things added onto the iceberg in an updated version. Without them, this video probably wouldn't be out for another 2 months or so. I decided that just to see how many things I would be covering in this video, I took the updated iceberg and removed the things that didn't have any correction that weren't added in the updated iceberg. As it turns out, I'm actually going to be covering more things this video than the first part of the Tamagotchi Iceberg. Originally I was just going to use this to see what topics to bring up in this video, and just to show the normal Tamagotchi Iceberg, and I would just show the normal updated Tamagotchi Iceberg in the video, but then I realized I could make this updated iceberg practical for use in this video. I managed to find the same exact template Omega138 used for the iceberg, and so I put it underneath my edited version of the iceberg, and now you can't even tell that I removed anything from it. I have a feeling this video is going to be quite a bit longer than the first part, since this intro is taking up over half the first page of the script. That being said though, I feel like this intro has been going on for too long. So without further ado, let's get into my edited version of the updated Tamagotchi Iceberg. Miscolored Mamechi. Mamechi's color palette used to be blue in America, but it was later changed to yellow to match the way it was in Japan. Utachi. Utachi is the most famous Tamagotchi OC according to Omega138, and was created by Starry Cake. I'm not going to be explaining why things on the iceberg are on a certain level of the iceberg again in this video, so watch part 1 if you don't understand. Tamagotchi Reanimated collab complete. Tamagotchi Reanimated is a collab that started back at the very end of 2018, yet it is still not completed. Some rumor that a complete version exists but was distributed privately, although this is extremely unlikely as I did some research myself, and based on the project's Twitter it seems that this project is still alive and being worked on, and will be finished somewhat soon. Jurichi Tamagotchi no Puchi Puchi Amisechi the Violin Lesson. This 3DS game has lost to time, and this footage playing currently is the only footage online of the game. It seems how the game is structured is a bit similar to Parappa the Rapper, with Melody Chi playing violin first and then you have to repeat what Melody Chi played. BFDIWT. BFDIWT stands for Battle for Dream Island but with Tamagotchis, and was a series created by Param33. The name is pretty self-explanatory, a series where assets for different contestants are replaced by different Tamagotchis. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure this series was the first time I ever saw BFDI. In the Tamagotchi movie, Chamamechi was force-fed. In the montage where Mamechi was trying to create his own star to help him in the dark, Chamamechi is shown drinking milk over and over again throughout the montage, which makes it seem like Chamamechi was force-fed. Kizunachi's evolved form is her soul going to heaven. This is a theory that Kizunachi actually died in the anime's finale, and her evolved form is her soul getting called to the afterlife. Tamagotchi Friends Dreamtown rewritten. There actually was a successful revival of Tamagotchi Friends Dreamtown, but due to the end of Flash support it might not still be playable. Happy Happy Chi was originally going to die permanently in Happiest Story in the Universe. The story is quite dark and happiest story in the universe, so it is possible that Bandai originally had planned for Happy Peachy to die permanently, but they didn't have it that way since it was meant to be kid-friendly. Pocket Designer's clock always set to 10 AM. Apparently, the Pocket Designer's clock is only always set to 10 AM in promotional materials. My friend Melody Violin references JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. My friend is somewhat a reference to stands. My friend is somewhat Tamagotchi-like, referencing humanoid stands. And she's the spirit of a violin, which references an inanimate object, stands. Fan characters being canon. Every character that was submitted to the My Tamagotchi Forever OC challenge are actually Tamagotchis on Tamagotchi Planet, thus meaning that these fan characters are canon. Dream Bakuchis are time gods seeking revenge. Dream Bakuchis desire to escape the Pocket Designers, so the old Tamagotchis must have trapped them for something that they did. Dream Bakuchis are also known to have the power to send Tamagotchis back in time, thus why they are referred to as time gods on the iceberg. Tamagotchi Fan 342's true intentions. The bondage art that Tamagotchi Fan 342 draws may be for more malicious intent. Tamagotchi cemeteries. There are actual places where people bury their dead Tamagotchis. MatPat owned a Kuchipachi. In an episode of Game Theory, MatPat talks about Tamagotchi and Kuchipachi is seen on screen. This may mean that MatPat had a Kuchipachi. Tamatown Game. It turns out that this is just about the game as a whole. Tamatown was an interactive website where you could play games, visit locations, and connect your Tamagotchi device to earn prizes. Undiscovered Tamagotchi toys. What undiscovered actually means here is that there are no videos online of the toys. Old Tamagotchis appearing in the anime. This is talking about some older Tamagotchis who would appear in the anime that are quite obscure. There are also edited screenshots of the anime that include obscure vintage Tamagotchis. Shared lives. This is talking about how a bond between a human and a Tamagotchi is stronger than any other bond, and if one of them dies, the other might have lots of unfortunate events happen. These lives matter means the same thing, so let's skip ahead to Tamatown private servers. There is a theory that Tamatown private servers were going to exist for Tamatown, but they didn't end up existing. Uesachi and her family are the main antagonists of the anime. This theory wasn't put onto the iceberg as a joke. That really isn't much of a correction, but I decided to mention it anyway. Tampopo's return. There is a theory that Tampopo will return in some way. It might have already happened, but if it has, it's likely it's been long hidden away. Haunted Toriba machines. This is basically Omega 138's version of Polybius. I know that most of my audience most likely already know about the urban legend Polybius, but I'll give a brief explanation since I know that at least some will be a bit confused when I say that it's their version of Polybius. Polybius is a fictional arcade game that was said to be a psychological experiment that caused players to have amnesia, insomnia, night terrors, and hallucinations. There are videos that explain the myth better than I can, so watch those if you want to know more about the myth. Anyways, in this version, people play Korean games, let's just say with Tamagotchi prizes since this is on the Tamagotchi Iceberg, and they end up getting suicidal thoughts and weird hallucinations, which causes the machines to get recalled. Tamagotchi Friends Japanese version, Do Not Research. I was right about the Do Not Research part being just a reference to the Super Mario 64 Iceberg, but it actually turns out that there are some copies of Tamagotchi Friends that had Japanese on them. So there you have it. I've explained the entirety of the updated Tamagotchi Iceberg. Again, thank you to Omega 138 for helping me write this video. Originally I was going to have some stuff here talking about how I feel icebergs are great, and other stuff about icebergs, but I felt that could just be a part of a standalone video, which will be my next video on icebergs. It'll cover a lot about how I feel about icebergs. Also, if you want to read the Tamagotchi Encore comics when they come out, check out encore.AaronPTB.com every once in a while to see if any have been released yet. Also, join my Tamagotchi Discord to just hang out and have a good time talking about Tamagotchi media. Also, please don't tell me that Mamechi's gonna suddenly teleport onto my shelf. You already did that last time, what are you gonna do next time? Why did you have to abruptly wake me up like that? You were thinking about the Japanese version of Tamagotchi Friends.